Hi, welcome to Gorilla Keys Around the Globe. Today on this beautiful November day in San Antonio, we're doing the perfect Norman Rockwell-esque turkey using Oakland dust. Let's get on with it. Okay, so spatchcocking has been becoming part of the trend over the last couple of years. Very effective way of cooking a turkey because it allows so much airflow around the turkey that it cooks very evenly and delivers delicious results. The issue is Norm Rockwell never painted a flat turkey, and if you're come to the table with something that looks like a discus, thick discus, then you know, people are going to look at that and say, wow, how do you do that? So last year I kind of worked with the idea of a half spatchcock. I hadn't seen it elsewhere, but it seemed to work, where you take out most of the backbone, leave the hips intact, so you've got airflow through the turkey. I've demonstrated this in chicken videos, and it works very, very well on the turkey as well. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to half spatchcock it, take out most of the backbone, leave the hips intact, and that'll hold the turkey together, so when you present it, you can look like you're in that Norm Rockwell picture. And classic imagery. Second thing, to get that truly crispy skin, you want to dry brine the turkey. So a few days before, when you take it out of the bag that it came in, lightly salt it. Then you want to add some kind of seasoning on top of that just before you cook, and that's where the Oakland dust came in. And the reason I kind of went for this and like it is because it doesn't have a salty flavor to it. It has a very clean, herby flavor to it, which is, comes from the woody herbs it's made out of, the rosemary, thyme, sage. And the last thing it has a sort of citrus in the lemon, and then it has cumin, and you can really taste that cumin's last little piece as a kick. And I say the fact that it seems low in salt, but it has all of those classic flavors you're looking for, just going to make it taste really good on the turkey. I've tried it on a few chickens, and I'm convinced this one's the way to go. So Oakland dust, half spatchcock. Let's get on. Okay, so this is an ultra easy, ultra quick preparation of this turkey. All I had to do was take a standard fine-grained light salt, sprinkle all over the skin, and leave this in the fridge for a couple of days, just to be and just being aware of drips. That dries out the skin. It starts turning this translucent color, so you can see how you can see the dark meat through the legs, etc. Right, here's a good example. Skin's dried out, so now all I want to do is take out most of the backbone, put the seasoning on. So let's just do that. Alright, so when you turn the turkey upside down, let's get rid of a bit of that, I don't want it. Turn the turkey upside down, there's the backbone coming through here, through ribs, so I'm just going to cut right down until it gets tough, which is about there. You can hear me going through the ribs. There it goes. Turkeys are much stronger than chickens. Do the same thing with the tail end, and I'm starting just below where the hip joins. You can sort of feel the hip bones through there, just beneath there, and cut down, and then again cut across. Take out all now all I've done is I've created a huge cavity for airflow, so the bird cooks more cleanly. Now when I turn it over, it looks like a classic turkey, right? I mean, it's going to present to the table like that. So, application of the Oakland dust. It does actually look like a dust when you get it. So what I'm using is an oil, because a lot of the flavors within it, particularly those woody herbs, are oil soluble, so they actually transfer better with oil. Secondly, because it is quite a fine-grained dust, I mean, it is actually a dust, it's got an intense flavor to it, so you want to coat it evenly, which is great because it means you can get a bit of that in every bite. But the best way of applying it evenly, I found, is really just to brush it on. And you can see how it's got a green tinge to it, obviously, because there's so much herb powder in there. So, application. Now, in terms of what oil I'm using, you can see by the way that this congeal, this is an animal fat, so I'm actually using a butter. When it comes to getting a crispy skin, animal fat is better than vegetable fat. So you can use olive oil, but butter is better. And you know, a true animal fat like a lard is better still. Okay, so classic griller queue setup. Griller queue in the middle. I've got about 30 coals lit there because remember this is a larger turkey, so I'd usually about 20 in a chicken, but maybe about 30 now to make sure I get that dome temperature of 375 to 400. This side, I just put the grill back on after throwing the backbone that I cut out of the turkey into the drip tray. The drip tray has got hot water in it. It's got all the sort of leftover bits of vegetables that you want to go with the rest of the meal. So there's celery in there. There's a mixture of herbs, typically Italian herbs, the classic sages, onions, all of those kinds of flavors, and then hot water. Okay, and the hot water is just there to start making the basis of the gravy. For the gravy, for this, what I'll do is I'll skim off the fat, strain it, and basically have that as the gravy. Then, like that, legs pointing the fire. It's going to take about 2 hours, so I'll come back on that. Smoking chips. I've got two types. One cherry, two apple. I've really just got the cherry because it will make it a much more rich, reddy brown. This skin, the smoke will come off, and then the apple for flavour. You don't need too many. You don't want to over smoke it. All right. Lid on, vent fully open, 375 to 400. It'll probably take about 2 hours. You can check the breast after about an hour and a half and see where it sits. Remember, the goal is 160 or so in the breast, and that should be about 185 in the legs. All right, let's go. Okay, so an hour and a half in, so have a quick look. Well, you can see one, it's hugely brown too. That skin is really tightened up, it's pulled back off the bone. This is not a million miles away, but I suspect it's still probably a little on the low side. 139. Yeah, so it's going to hover at about 140. These are probably a bit hotter. 172, 183. So the legs are definitely getting there. The lower part of the breast is probably still a distance away at 135. So it might be another half hour or so. But clearly this is the impact of cherry smoke. It just makes the turkey so very, very brown. And again, hopefully you can hear the tightness of that skin. Alright, half an hour to go probably. Okay, so while we're waiting, let's talk a bit about the Oakland dust. First off, what it's made out of. A lot of those classic woody herbs, flavors, the rosemary, sage, thyme, all the things you expect to taste in a Thanksgiving meal or in a Christmas meal. And then it's got this wonderful dash of cumin that comes in. You can really taste that. Also, I note they have cilantro, which, or rather, sorry, they label it as coriander, which basically is cilantro. But there we are. Second thing to note, I mean, it really is a dust. It's a very fine powder, so you can see it just dust. So you don't need a huge amount of it to get a really good coverage over the turkey or over the chicken, because it's so fine, it will spread easily, as you saw when I was basting it. So consequently, you get all these flavors in every bite, which is a wonderful thing. Third thing is, I think it's probably got lower salt than a lot of them. When you're dry brining it like we did with this turkey, that's quite important because you don't want a very salt-rich rub, because you'll be putting more salt on salt and you'll end up with a very salty turkey. So, okay, so pretty much spot on 2 hours. Let's have a quick check. Gorgeous deep brown colour. Okay, so we're just at that 160 mark. That's perfect with carryover. This thigh is going to be way up there, so it's perfect. 195. Yeah, this turkey's ready. So pretty much start to finish, 12-pound turkey, 2 hours, dead on. Okay. That's a pretty magnificent looking turkey. Deep brown colour. should be able to hear it knocking on the skin. The skin's beautifully crisp. Let's give it a go. So again, you can hear that tear. Very juicy. Gonna be good. Alright, let's open them up. Okay. This deep brown colour again is the impact of that cherry wood. Let's do it just a slice across here. See how the breast looks. Hopefully you can see the juice is just actually pouring out of it right now. Okay, so that's just a very, very moist, oh my god, very moist turkey. So it really, the aroma from the dust is quite incredible. Yes, I say it really does capture every, whoa, it's delicious. Okay, so just coming in, very fine slice there. Gosh, this is hot. Magnificent. And the thing about this is it couldn't be any easier, right? I mean, you can see the moisture coming out. See how moisture in there. There was no injection required, no special brining, 3 days of this or 4 days of that or anything else, and you have a magnificent looking turkey that is exactly what you want to serve at the table. Getting into the leg, or getting into the wing rather, I mean, that meat is tearing apart just like you want it to. Perfectly spot on. You can hear the flesh crack there. Again, tearing away from the bone, it's just perfect. Gorgeous meat, you see the steam coming off, falling away. The dark meat is going to be fabulous. Personal favourite. So, if you want the simplest of simplest turkeys, do it like that. And then in there is a delicious gravy. You simply skim off the fat, strain it, and it's good to go. So the very last piece is testing the flavour. Lovely crisp skin, beautiful white flesh. And the Oakland dust in every bite. I mean, this is what you want. Couldn't be easier. Give it a go. Cheers.